if you were going to ask me what I would do or what I would say to somebody who's young, because after all, I mean, I'm 78.
78.
I'm 78, and I should know something.
Yeah.
I like to say that I made a lot of mistakes, but you got to make mistakes, man. Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Okay.
Now, I was lucky because I had a father who had, he had the smarts. He read books. He had 8 children, and I'm the first. So you got to know a little bit about me if I'm going to give you some information, what I think.
I want to know, first of all, who are you?
Yeah, I'm from Newfoundland. It's an island on the east coast of Canada.
Okay.
And I lived in Greece for 4 years. I traveled around Iceland. I was there, And I've been living 30 years in Czech. I was teaching English there.
Oh, good.
So I've read a lot of books. I was lucky because Father had a lot of books at home.
Yeah.
He didn't have much time because he had 8 children. So for me to have read Casanova, Frank Harris, or any of the great writers that I read, see, young people, everybody has a different way of going about things because they come from different situations. So what would I suggest for people, young people? Well, there's certainly 2 things you need. You need your health. That's your wealth, my father said,
Your health is your wealth.
Exactly. You got to be healthy. How do you be healthy at all? Well, the other aspect is money. So you need to work, obviously, to have stability.
Yes.
And so, for me, I've read a lot of books. I made a lot of mistakes. I traveled. I did go to university.
Okay.
But I failed in second year.
Okay.
And today I make a joke. I say, you know what? I'm glad I failed because I believe the world failed. Our society's failed because 1% of the population controls 99% of the wealth.
Yes.
So that means if you extrapolate it from the other angle, it means that 98% of the population are fighting over the little bit that's left.
Yes.
So we're in a dysfunctional kind of society. So each person probably got to decide how they're going to act and what they're going to do. But I think that reading books, good, once in a while. Read between the lines probably because there's a lot of propaganda out there because we don't know what we're reading. Yeah, that's another thing. So be careful of what you're reading. You keep good company. Make sure you get good sleep. I don't recommend smoking, drinking alcohol to an abusive way.
Yes.
And so to liberate yourself is very difficult. Because you depend on the others around you, the society we live in. So for me, it was exercising. You got to make sure your body is correct. You got to brush your teeth.
I've already put on some weight. When I'm going back to France, I'm starting training. Because of my travels, I break my ritual. So I have to
well, that's the thing. Now I did go and I spent 3 weeks picking grapes in the south of France. Je vais ramasser les raisins. And so it was a lot of fun. I was at the right time. I was 26, so I met a lot of different people, even from Africa, working in the field. So, I did some work, all kinds of jobs. I sometimes avoided work. And I did ask people for money and, sometimes, but I didn't steal. And I was lucky there was always some job. I could work in London, for instance. I was young. I was 27, 28. And I could go and get a job, maybe simple jobs, in a warehouse for a couple of hours. And what can I tell people? Stay healthy. Try to get a nice, education can be in the books. But you got to be eclectic. You got to choose what books are going to, so it's a difficult thing, to be able to explain to people what they should do. But that's the thing, make sure that they eat proper food. I try to be a vegetarian.
Yes.
I think, I don't like the idea of killing animals, but you know what? So vegetarian to me seems like a good style.
Yes.
It's light food, but everybody chooses for themselves what they do, This is mineral water, which is free here, and it's hot, and so people go there and get it. It's in the center of Sofia. So I'm bringing that home to have some tea, cafe from this water.
Nice.
But in Prague, you have to pay for that.
Oh, so, how much it will cost in Prague?
How much did it cost?
Yeah, in Prague.
Well, I think something like that would cost probably $1.
Okay.
Yeah, but here it's free but you know what? In Iceland, I lived there for 2 years, you know.
Okay.
And in Iceland, you got to go there too. In Reykjavik, see, rake means vapor.
Okay.
It could mean smoke too, but the vapor comes from the hot water that's coming from the ground.
Yes.
So you can swim. Exactly. So you can actually swim outdoors in the cold, and you're swimming in warm hot water, however you like it.
Wow.
So, you know, get over to Iceland too. You travel is a nice way.
Yeah,
I mean, I read Casanova, Giacomo Casanova. He wrote in French, but he was Italian.
Yes.
And he lived in France for about 5 years. And so when he was in Prague for 13 years, he was very afraid for his friends who were dying because of the revolution. So it was, you know, for me to have lived and traveled in different countries.
How many countries have you visited?
Well, you know, I lived in Iceland for 2 years. I worked with farmers on different farms there. I was in Greece for 4 years. I did all kind. I didn't work that much, but what did I do? I did a few things working with people who had sheep up in the mountains.
Yes.
So I did things like this, and the sheep would go over there. They would milk the sheep, and with the milk they'd make 3 types of cheeses. So all these kinds of experiences really, for me, have helped me formulate an idea. And I'm 78.
78.
So I've been lucky. I walked across Iceland. I went by bicycle too a lot. That's another trick.
Yes.
Go by bicycle too, man. I mean, you're out in the fresh air. You travel far.
Yeah, I met one English guy that is doing that. Is doing a tour, a bike tour around Europe.
Exactly. So on the YouTube, you know,
he's very fit now.
It's amazing, the internet. I mean, you know, there's so many people traveling by bikes. You can get them on the internet. I watch people. They go in the country and with their axe and saw. They, you know, bushcraft they call it.
Yeah, bushcraft.
So people are out there with the animals. I mean, okay, it's nice to be remote, but on the other hand, you need to get out and speak with people and interchange with people. So that is one thing that my father suggested to me when I was young. I was 18. I didn't know a woman. I was 21. And so Dad said to me, he said, son, you can talk to people. Don't be afraid. Later, maybe 15 years later, I came back home and my dear mother said, son, what are you doing going and talking to this one and that one? They'll think you're crazy. But you see, the thing is, I didn't tell her that, but Dad told me to speak to people.
So she's a woman. So we are the men, so we have to do that.
But that's
thank you very much
pleasure
for
to meet
everything.
You, my friend. Yeah.
So
Mr.
this is
Mr. Nigeria. Joel. Pleasure, my
And you?
Paul.
Paul. Oh, nice to meet you, Paul. So Paul has shared a lot with us. So just to recap it all, 3 last things to say.
Yeah.
3 last advice you can give to your younger self.
Yeah.
If you can delve back.
Brush your teeth.
Okay.
Keep your teeth clean.
Okay.
Carry your brush. And my father suggested, you know, carry salt if you don't have a toothbrush, you know. But in those days, I was bumming around. I was, you know, didn't know really what I was doing. So keep good friends. Make sure, get away from smoke. Don't be hanging around where there's too much smoke. You know, and I think, like I say, reading is a nice thing. Book in your pocket, you know, read a nice book that you think is a good book.
Books that can enlighten you, that can open your mind.
Exactly. I'll give you one example. Okay. There is a black man, and his name was Professor Tony Martin.
Okay.
And he wrote, he's speaking on the YouTube and speaking about the blacks, how they got to America. He was a good man. I think he was a good. So read people like him.
Professor Martin.
Yeah,
okay.
Professor Tony Martin.
Okay.
Tony Martin. Funny guy,
yes.
But I think he knew what he was talking about.
Oh, I'm going to shake him off. Thank you very much.
Joel,
I really appreciate it.
A pleasure, Joel.
Thank you.
You have a nice day here. Nice day.
Thank you.
Have a good life. Live a long time.
Amen. I am Joel Tamara. If you like my videos, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification so you will get notified of my upcoming videos as I take you to every country on earth. Until then, have a wonderful and inspiring day. Bye-bye.